¿Qué piensas de él? Dime.
Está bien.
Hello, everyone.
Bueno, creo que es un poco fantasma.
I see that Jessica is joining us.
¿Has pedido mi opinión?
Da igual, no se la diremos a las nuevas.
¿Por qué no?
Muy gracioso.
Jessica, can you hear me?
Sí. O ahogarme. Odio cuando sucede eso.
All right. Well, thank you for coming to our first week's Hangout session. In this week's session, we are going to be talking about communication tools, particularly the Padlet. And my name is Dr. Susie Gronseth. I am on the faculty in the Learning Design and Technology program at the University of Houston in Houston, Texas. And I'm coming to you live today from near Denver, Colorado. I will be hosting the Google Hangouts at this time every week of the course. And this week I am in Colorado, but for the next Hangouts I will be coming from Doha, Qatar. So the Hangout will be on Friday evenings for me. This Hangout time is designed to be more convenient to those of us that are in Asia, Africa, and Australia, but anybody from anywhere in the world is welcome to join in. So I welcome you all that are here watching us live, as well as those that will be watching the recording later on. I have invited a few of you to come join me in the Hangout. I see Vi has joined us. Can you hear us?
Yeah, thank you.
Hi.
Thank you for inviting me. Hello.
Hello. Welcome. Where are you coming from?
I'm from Vietnam.
Vietnam.
Yes.
Well, welcome. And do you pronounce your name Vi or V?
V.
V. Okay.
Yeah. The name is VY, and it's pronounced as V, not Y.
V. Okay. What kind of grade level or context in which do you teach?
I teach at college level.
Okay. What course? What subject area?
The subject is about general English. It means English for communication.
Okay. Great. Let me see if I can, I've muted Jessica. Let me see if I can get her back on with us.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Go. Jessica, would you try unmuting yourself? It doesn't look like I can do that for you. All right. Well, if we have others join us in the Hangout, that would be great. If not, we have plenty of people that are watching us live, and then that will also be watching the recording. So I have opened up a Q&A app on the side of the Hangout, and so if you are watching us live, you can submit questions and upvote questions using the +1. And we will try to answer as many of those as we can during this session. So before we get started, I see that we do have a question from Renuka, and she says, good morning, I have started using Padlet from yesterday. Is there an upper limit for the file size that could be loaded? I could not paste some of my video files. I will have to look up the answer to that question, but I would not be surprised if there is a file limit. A lot of these Web 2.0 tools that we use, we present in this course and that we use regularly, do have file size limits, just because there's limited server space and whatnot. So I will have to look that up and get back to you, and I can post it in the discussion forum that we have pertaining to this Padlet. So let me share my screen and I will show you where that is. Here we go. Okay. So you should be seeing my screen. There might be a slight delay, but I'm sharing my screen right now. And let me go up to the Coursera site. V, do you see the Coursera site? Is that coming in clear for you?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, very clear.
Great, great. So I'm on the home page of our Coursera site, and we have created a new discussion forum. So under Community on the left-hand side, in the discussion forums, there is a sub-forum called Discussion About Hangouts. And then sub-forum Hangout 1, Discussion About Padlet. So we will have a forum for each week's tool Hangout, and we can extend the discussion in these forums. So I will have to come back for the upper file size limit unless someone else can research that and post that in the forum and share that information with us. That'd be great. Also in this forum, I have posted a link to a Padlet that we have created, and we'd like everyone in the course to submit their ideas. We have the link here, Ways to Use Padlet in the Classroom. It is one of the threads in the sub-forum, and the link to that Padlet is here, padlet.com/UHCOE Light Lab/Ways to Use Padlet. And this wall can be populated. I'll show you how. You just double-click and just post your ideas on how to use Padlet, and that can be today or as we continue to do the examination of this tool during this week. So while I have my screen sharing, I'm going to go ahead and just walk through the steps of how to create your first Padlet. You need to create an account if you're going to create Padlets. You don't need to have an account if you are just going to contribute to a Padlet, which is kind of a nice thing. One thing you can use Padlet for is when you're presenting in a conference and your audience can just go to the URL and submit ideas, questions, post links, resources, but they don't necessarily have to log in to do that. So all they need is the wall URL to participate. But if you're going to create a Padlet, you do need to create an account. It is free, and I am going to go ahead and start in already logged in. So this is the main dashboard screen when you are logged into Padlet, and all of your Padlets will be housed in the My Padlets area. This is a pretty new account, so we don't already have very many Padlets. We do have that Ways to Use Padlet in the Classroom and a couple of demo Padlets, but I'm going to create a brand new one by clicking the Create New Padlet button. So it's a blank wall. Padlet is just a digital bulletin board where we can post stuff, and this is the URL to that wall. So for those of you that are watching, if you wanted to pull up the wall, you would need to type in this URL. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to change this URL to something that's easier for people to type in to recognize. So to do that, I'm going to click on the gear on the right-hand side of the toolbar. And there are some options here, and one of those is address. So currently it is padlet.com/UHCOE Light Lab / and then a bunch of numbers and letters. I'm going to pick a padlet.com address and just typing in Hangout demo as the name. It's available. You can see that with the green check, and it says available, and all I have to do is click pick. And now my URL changes to padlet.com/UHCOE Light Lab / Hangout demo. So if you're watching this live and you want to participate with us, go ahead to this URL and you will be able to post to this wall. I welcome you to come post to this wall as I'm demonstrating. So we've changed the URL to UHCOE Light Lab / Hangout demo. So that's one of the first things that I do when I create a Padlet. The next thing that I would do is I can choose a little portrait. That's an image that will appear in the upper left corner. I can add an image. So it might be I want to upload an image from that's the logo of the school where I work at, or really anything that you would like, but you can choose one of the clip art options that they have available, or you can upload something. And then give it a title. So I'm going to call this our week 1. And so that appears right there on the title. And then in the description, it's optional, but I usually put instructions for what I want the participants to do. So I'll put welcome, try out your name and where you are from. We'll make it something simple. Now, the background of the wall is just a gray-white background, but I can change that. Again, going to the gear, modify this wall area. That's the second option, wallpaper. Again, I can add my own background, or I can choose one of the ones that they have available, and they have a lot of things available. So it'll be fun to see as people start posting here. We can get really crazy, something that's very busy. I prefer to use something that's more simple. A lot of times I will just do a plain wood, or the blueprint is nice. We could do sand. When I'm in Qatar, I see lots of sand. How about we do sky? I'm in Colorado, so we'll do sky because there is a huge big blue sky out there. The next thing is layout. So as you can see, as people are starting to post, they're starting to be all over the place. And how you post is you just double click on the wall, and you have the option to add a title and to write something. There's also a link, a webcam, and a file that you can upload. So I put my name, and I'm coming. And will be in Doha. And then I click enter. And I can go and add a link to my home page or whatever I want, but I'm just going to click outside of that, and then I can move it around wherever I want to. I am logged in, so I can click this little green pencil to edit my post further, or I can delete it myself. Now, because I am the owner of this page, I can also edit and delete other posts too. So you can moderate the posts that your participants are posting to your wall and clean it up as you need to. So I could just move it around and organize it manually, or I could go to that layout area and post them in a different layout. So we're looking at the freeform layout currently. We could change it to stream. That places the post one below the other. This is a good one if you're going to do a threaded discussion. The grid one is the one that we have chosen for the ways to use Padlet in the classroom. So it's going to start populating in a grid, going across and down. So as you can see here, it's organizing it in the grid layout. So just so that we can see everybody on the screen, let's stick with the grid layout. I think that one will work the best. Let me show you a few more options that you can do since we're in the modify this wall area. So right now, the visibility of the Padlet is, it's got a public link, but it's hidden from Google and public areas of Padlet. And the people who come to this link, that is the UHCOE Light Lab / Hangout demo, can write on it. But I could change that option to where they could not, they could only view, or that I would have to approve any posts. So you might want to choose one of these options depending on which context you're using in using the Padlet. You can also add a password to it, and there's that option. You can invite people by email or username if they have a Padlet account, and then you can moderate those posts. I tend to, in my uses of this tool, I tend to keep it as the hidden link, but make it public and allow others to write. So I use this tool as a discussion tool. I do threaded discussions on Padlet through my online courses, and just share the link as part of my course materials, and then my students come in and they post their ideas or responses to the discussion prompt that I give them. I've used it in conference situations where I put the URL up on the screen, and I've had my participants come and just come to that URL from any mobile device or laptop and start posting their ideas there. So let's look at our wall. Looks like we have someone from Barcelona, Spain, someone from Croatia, Minneapolis, Malaysia, New Hampshire, and India. Welcome, everyone. There is an option to be notified once a day when people post to the wall. So if this is an asynchronous type activity, you might want to receive that notification so you don't have to constantly go to the wall to check. We already looked at the address area. The copy is a nice feature if you do the Padlet for the same type of activity over and over again. Say you teach, for me, I teach in higher ed, so I teach the same course. I have one course that I teach every single semester, and I do a Padlet activity in that course every semester. So instead of recreating my wall with the little icon and the name and the instructions, I can just copy it, either with the post or without the post. Usually I do without the post, because I tend to have a lot of posts by the end of the activity, but if it was just a small one, I might want to copy it with the post, especially if I had spent the time to create some sample posts that my students could follow. And then there's the option to delete. So there's quite a bit of functionality that's available to you when you create a new Padlet. I can export the Padlet as an image, a PDF, an Excel file, CSV file. I can share it on social media. I can subscribe to it. I can print it. It even generates a QR code. If you're doing a presentation, or even in the classroom, you could have a center where you paste this QR code somewhere in the classroom, and then your students or your participants could access the wall just by scanning that code and start posting to the wall there. So they provide some embed codes, the QR code, right there for you. So that is a quick overview of Padlet. I'm going to come back to the Hangout now and stop sharing my screen. Here we go. Hello again. And let's see. You need the URL again. Sure, that demo one that we are playing around with is padlet.com/UHCOE Light Lab /Hangout demo. I will paste that into our event page on Google Plus. So it should come up pretty soon. So I pasted that URL on our event page if you want to start playing around there. The URL for our ways to use Padlet, I can paste that as well on our event page. There we go. So both of those are now on our event page. Okay. Let's see. Are there any other questions about Padlet from those that are viewing with us? Looks like we have someone else join us. Helia? All right. V, do you have any questions that we can explore further?
The question about copy post or copy without post.
Mm-hmm. You want me to show that?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So we've got the wall that we're playing around with, our Hangout demo wall. I'm going to click the modify gear, modify this wall, and click the copy. And I'm going to show you the copy with post first. So I'll click that option. And it says I successfully copied this Padlet too. And you'll notice that the URL is different. It's generated a new wall with the same information, but it's got a different URL. So I can either click on that or I'll show you it is now in my Padlets. Oh, let me see. Let me share my screen again. Sorry about this. Here we go. Okay. So let me back up and show you what I just did. Okay, so you can see here in my Padlets that I have two that are the same. This is the Hangout demo one. I went to the modify this wall, copy, copy with posts. We'll just copy it again. And it created a new URL. This is the URL to my freshly copied Padlet. So if I click on that, it's going to look the same because I copied it with the posts, but it has a different address. And if I wanted to change that to something that was easier to remember, I just go through the steps to pick a new address again. If I look in my Padlet's dashboard, I can see that I have copied that wall several times. The first one, the one that we were using, is the one on the bottom. Okay, so this is one of the ones that I copied. If I want to get rid of it, I can just click delete. I can clear it of all the posts, and that would allow me to just start fresh. So say I didn't want to necessarily copy a wall to reuse this activity, but maybe I just want to clear the posts. I can click the delete and clear all posts. That's a great option. Or I can delete the entire wall, and now it doesn't show up in my Padlets anymore. So going back to our original wall, let's take a look at how you copy without posts. So I clicked the gear, copy, and copy without post, and then same idea, I've got a new URL with a new Padlet that has that information but no posts. So if I go back into my home page, I can see that I've got it copied right here. All right, so let's go back to here. Sounds like the dog is no longer, so let's go ahead and remove that post. So as you can see, I am able to moderate. Let's see if there's any other questions. Okay. So we gave the URL. Okay, we have someone who shared that they've tried to use it at first, and they have some classroom management issues since the wall is on the big screen behind the teacher's back. So that would be a good situation where you might want to have a moderator for the post so that students can't just post and it appear on the screen. Let's see here. Password I set for view and write is not functioning. Students are able to write without the password. that is the password to access the Padlet site, I believe. But we can look more into that and discuss it on the discussion board. Let's see here. I've used it in conference situations. Tell a bit more about the experience. So I've presented at the International Society for Technology and Education for many years, and that is a good one to use this tool with, whether you're in a small roundtable situation or a large hall with a couple hundred people. It just varies what kind of session that I'm doing each year, but I have used it from a small to a large group, and sometimes I will post the questions as part of my presentation slide deck, my PowerPoint slide deck, post a question, and then give the URL, and then participants can go to the wall and start having kind of like a back channel conversation on the wall. It's also great for introductions like we've done in this session, where participants can give me some feedback about where they're from, what kind of teaching context they're in, so I know what kinds of examples to give in my presentation. And so I can just scan the wall. They can post their questions, so if we don't get time to answer them during the session, I can come back and respond on the wall, and we can continue that conversation. Let's see. Looks like that was the last question. V, were you going to say something?
I want to say thank you for your presentation. I understand everything you said, and it's very clear. Okay.
Great. I think this is a good tool to start these Hangout sessions with, because it is a very intuitive tool. I've had good success with it in my classes, and I've used a lot of Web 2.0 tools when I teach. And I teach primarily right now online, so the tools need to be easy to use, international, not be restricted by where the students are coming from, because I have students from all over, even though the classes are for the University of Houston. So the tools that we use need to be accessible from all around the world, from multiple platforms and devices, and Padlet is a good one that I don't have as many technical issues or the learning curve that some of the other ones tend to have. So it is a good one to start out with.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Any other questions about Padlet? Or we have about 2 minutes. We can talk communication tools. Let's see. We have a post that says, but somehow let them speak freely onto the wall helps teachers understanding their thought by anonymous posting. There was a kid commenting something stupid, to be honest. That's a great chance to educate them morally. Must have a try. Good idea. You can post these kinds of ideas on our ways to use Padlet wall. Again, that URL. Let me share my screen here. All right. Oops. Go back. It's UHCOE Light Lab / ways to use Padlet. There we go. So come join us on this wall. Just double click and put your name, the content area, grade level that you're teaching in or working in, and then write an idea for how to use Padlet. And we can come up with some new ways that we can use this tool in our classrooms. Thank you very much for your participation today, and feel free to join us next week when we look at another Web 2.0 tool.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thanks. Goodbye.
Thank you.